Welcome, everybody, to the Cast from the Coast. My name is Adam Miles, and I'm joined, as always, by Josh Lambert, Aaron Peerless, and Tim Johnson. What are we talking about tonight, Tim?
We are going to talk about a sequel to our previous episode, Dead Snow, from 2014, Dead Snow 2, Red versus Dead.
Stay tuned. Give us the synopsis, Tim.
Well, still on the run from a group of Nazi zombies, a man seeks the aid of a group of American zombie enthusiasts and discovers new techniques for fighting the undead.
That summarizes it nicely. So, we have Martin, as we ended the first Dead Snow movie. And the nice thing about this is this movie was filmed like 4 or 5 years later, released 4 or 5 years later. And it kicks off literally the same, like it opens where it ends in the first one.
Yep.
And
It's a true sequel.
Yeah, true sequel. Like literally just picks up. You can literally watch these movies back to back and get a complete story. And it's great that way.
There's a fan edit of that being done. Exactly.
And have a great time with it.
Thank you, Aaron. So, we have, obviously, the returning Martin, who was the Ash-type character from the first one. He's the unlikely hero who chops off his arm, and you see the connections here, the whole Ash scenario. So, and I mean, we talked about that.
Keep going.
No,
I don't see all the similarities. Go.
Kills his girlfriend, dead creatures coming after him. It's not necessarily zombies, it's more supernatural undead zombies. Cuts off his arm, starts in a cabin, goes elsewhere.
I don't see it.
You don't see it? No? Okay. Okay, so we have Martin, who, once again, he, the whole scenario with him from the first movie plays in. But he gets quite an upgrade in this one because, as it was in the first one, he chops off his arm. And in this one, as part of his getting away from the Nazi zombies, and Herzog specifically, Herzog's arm gets ripped off and lands in the car with him that he's driving away in. And when he gets into an accident, they assume that that's his arm that was pulled off, so they stitch it onto him, and it gives him kind of like supernatural powers because he's got Herzog's arm.
It was very creative.
Very.
I love the setup. I thought it was kind of cool.
I thought that was cool too. They got a lot of that kind of thing going on here, including some of the cool zombie deaths that I'll talk about later. But yeah,
this movie's full of cool fucking deaths. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So Herzog, same character obviously as in the first one here. Slight changes that occur to him because of the fact that he gains another arm, which is a human arm, and his palates change. If you notice.
Yeah, he turns very fleshy. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's not like he's the same dead-looking
like
character as he always was, but you can see that there's like a change in his palates and tones when he puts on like a human arm, like another human's arm. So that's interesting. But Herzog and his crew are back in this case, and this time around, we find out that the unfinished business wasn't necessarily just having to do with what they stole from the people. And keeping it for themselves. It has to do with the fact that they were actually sent on a mission at the end of the war to kill everybody in this town. And unfortunately, they ended up not making it down the mountain before they were in the avalanche and all died suffocated in the avalanche.
I think
So,
that's the first time anyone's ever said, unfortunately, that a bunch of Nazis got caught in an
oh,
avalanche.
fuck's sake.
Mm.
Horribly
No.
unfortunate.
I'm talking about the fact that, it's
It's a
unfortunate
real
for them,
shame,
I guess.
really.
Shut up.
It's a real shame.
Jeez.
Those Nazi bastards got buried alive.
Yeah, true shame. True shame.
Real shame.
Unfortunately, that they, yeah, so you got Herzog and his crew is back. And as per the information that Tim gave us in the synopsis here, we get introduced to 3 new characters who are a little bit of a more of a comedic, introduction to this movie here. You have the zombie crew basically from the Americas.
Zombie Squad.
Zombie Squad living out of this guy's like parents' house or some shit, and they decide to go over and battle the zombies when they hear about the fact that these zombies are there. So you have Daniel, who heads it up, and then you have Monica, and you have Blake, who are the 3 American zombie hunters.
You guys like these characters?
They
did.
were okay. I could have did without them, but I absolutely understand why they were there.
Initially, yeah, I agree. Initially, I was like, but they kind of grew on me. I agree with you, Tim. Yeah,
they were
Yeah,
okay. I take her or leave it. Like they were okay. I wasn't extremely bothered, but if they weren't in the movie, cool. You know what I mean? They were just there.
What do you think,
Yeah.
Adam?
Well, basically, I thought it was unnecessary to have them come from the Americas. I thought that it would have been just as cool to have some sort of like a localized group that gets thrown into the middle of this. That they could have just as much have been, zombie fanatics. I think that the purpose behind them was cool. I think the execution of bringing them in from another country and having them as Americans and stuff like this kind of just, like Tim said, I could take it or leave it at that point. But
Well,
I think they could have done something different slightly with them. But I like the fact that there was these characters that were acknowledging zombies. You know what I mean? Like, almost like, I've been ready for this. You know what I mean? Like they were eager for this kind of a shit to happen.
The thing that I think what was so jarring for me was the fact that they're from the US. Like I would have felt like better about it if they were just a different part of Europe. You know what I mean? Like it just felt kind of
like the whole thing was them just like poking fun of the States. They're like, here's these fucking losers, and they're making stupid references and making them look like clowns.
Maybe they were trying to add to the American market so that when they did release this,
too.
I think that they were trying to appeal to the Americans, which didn't work, by the way. Yeah.
No, but I mean, I just felt like it kind of took some of the charm away from what they established in the first one. And I'm not going to lie to you, fellas. I'm looking at Dead Snow 2, like thumbnails and stuff like that, because I'm going to do the thumbnail as we're doing the episode. And like our thumbnail is like there. Just saying, for like the original Dead Snow that we did 3 years ago.
It's on the IMDb or something, or what?
No, when you go to Google and type in Dead Snow 2 Red vs. Dead, our thumbnail is like right there.
That's great. That's
cool.
Great.
It's down a little bit, but it's there. Like I was like, what? Anyways, I'm sorry.
Oh, good. So yeah, obviously we all kind of feel the same way, and take it or leave it as the characters are. I mean, they were okay. They didn't hurt the movie, but they didn't really add that much to the movie. If they would have been handled a little bit differently, I think that they would have been like outstanding characters compared to what they were. But what we got is what we got.
I like the idea that they were like zombie fans. You know what I mean? Like they were like zombie hunters, like ghost hunters type of thing, right? Like keep that. That was a cool little like character thing. But I don't know. It was just
they didn't have to be American.
I felt all the Star Wars jokes just didn't land. It's like this girl, and she's just making these Star Wars references, and I just didn't feel they were like, why are they in a zombie movie, and why does she? It's like it felt like a Family Guy episode where they're just like, it's a trap, and then it cuts away.
Yeah,
it kind of almost seemed like Ron Burgundy, when in Rome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, not here, Ron, not here.
I'm happy that Martin Starr, the guy with the glasses, he was there. I like him. He's funny. I mean, he's from Freaks and Geeks, right?
Yeah. I mean, long time.
Yeah, you guys don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it was the what was it? Josh Whedon, his old series had like Seth Rogen and all them in it when they were much younger.
You just Googled that.
No, I just know it off the top of my head. The Franco's in it, you know.
Caught him.
You did. I didn't use the Googles. Okay, so on top of the zombie hunters, we have the the man who gets pulled into this very much so for just being a museum curator. By the way, we have Glenn Kenneth, as he is, Mr. Please Don't Hurt Me. I Have Two Kittens, as Aaron so bluntly put it earlier. So this character was funny as hell, though. I did like this character. You know, he did get thrown into the middle of it. You know, his first instance of actually seeing the zombies, what does he do? He just vomits all over the window. And it was even better because Martin just kind of like squeegees it to look through the window.
Oh.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Chunk and Goonies when he slaps up against the glass, right? In a different context, obviously, but oh
man. And one more character I'm going to mention in this, because even though they're not really a named character, is one of my favorite slapstick characters in the entire movie. Their sidekick zombie that he keeps bringing back to life to use.
Yeah.
He's just credited as sidekick zombie. And that's perfect because he's like the ultimate throwaway character, but they keep just abusing the shit out of him, and he's brilliant in this movie. Like, I really do like that character. All right.
Josh,
yes.
do you have some notes? Josh?
That's a good question, Tim. I wonder if Josh has notes for us.
I don't know if I'm allowed to answer, Tim. This we're disrupting the format of the show. I don't know.
We're disrupting the natural flow of things. Josh, you may answer Tim.
Yeah, but Josh,
okay.
Have a man.
Wow, do not. you may answer Tim. Wow.
Is that
yes,
your secretary?
Timothy. I did take some notes.
Excellent.
My first viewing of Dead Snow 2 took place December 13, 2020 at 9:05 p.m. My first note was this movie's got big shoes to fill. I really enjoyed the first one, and I went into this thinking this one's not going to be as good, so here we go.
You rated the first one next, didn't you?
I did. That is the highest rating I could give it, because it was an excellent film.
Okay.
My first note was that it was a very good recap. So if you've never seen the first one, that's all right, because they actually do a very good job at recapping this.
Agree.
The first good laugh I had is when he's fighting with Herzog and he goes to turn the radio off because it's playing something he doesn't want to listen to, and they're like struggling for his death and being choked out. And he's like reaching, and you think he's going for like the
cigarette lighter to burn him or something.
Yeah, and he's like, oh no, I had to just turn this radio off.
That's good humor. I like that.
It
made me
is.
laugh. Yeah.
The next note was, hey, look, it's Aaron if he was a truck driver.
I thought that
So
exact
funny because I instantly know exactly who you're talking about.
Yep.
Big Red.
Wow.
My next note was, that's absolutely fucking revolting. CPR on a zombie that spews into your mouth.
Oh.
Absolutely revolting.
Yep.
Imagine hitting someone, getting out, and being like, oh no, oh no, oh no, and then looking down and be like, oh, it's just a Nazi. No big deal. Worst radio station of all time to try and stay awake to. It's like NPR on steroids. It's just like the most monotone, like talking about fucking butterflies or something, and the buddy just crashes. The next good gag I really liked was the salute with Herzog, and he's got no arm, and he couldn't salute. It was quite funny. And then it like quick cut to the fish truck, and I was positive he was going to have a fish arm, and I was so excited to have him like walking around with a big tuna arm, but he didn't. Yeah.
I was disappointed when he didn't have a tuna arm.
Yeah, I thought it was going like full grindhouse with like the machine gun leg. I thought it was just going to be, okay, this guy's going to be going around with like a big old yellowfin tuna on his arm flopping around.
Swordfish or some shit.
Yeah. Dude Snoo 2, once the titles came up. They gave him a Nazi arm. Interesting. And then I just wrote, it's the Evil Dead corrupted hand gag. I like how when Buddy was getting bashed in, he uses the newspaper to protect himself. Like getting attacked, he's got the newspaper up.
That happens like a couple times.
Yeah. Zombie Nazi surgeons. Yep. Modern era, and no one notices an entire swarm of Nazis roaming the street. Seems strange.
Europe. What?
Europe.
like it's just like you got a question. Europe?
Europe.
What the fuck, Europe?
So he can raise the dead now, I guess. That's neat. And somehow convert them to being a Nazi, even though he was a priest. Okay. What the fuck? This kid is really weird. Says he's on vacation, but he's just hanging out in like a mental hospital. Strange.
A hospital.
Oh,
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah,
His mother ate something bad, he said, or something like that.
Oh, I missed that. Okay, that's what it was. I was wondering because I saw that he was on vacation. I'm like, well, why? Okay, why are you in the hospital?
She ate bad fish. That's what it was.
That's
Bad
what it was.
fish.
Yeah, she ate a bad fish.
Yeah, it's
He-
probably
the fish that Herzog was trying to put on his arm.
Probably.
That's probably the one. Oh shit, bud! You just launched a kid out the window. You are fucked. Now this note, Aaron will appreciate. Those are some slimy intestines right there. The intestines out, and you can see the viscous nature of them.
I like your description.
Yeah. Their goal? Question mark. They're fucking Nazis. I think their goal is pretty obvious. I mean, like, I don't think we need to go into much detail on that guy. It's a trap T-shirt. Okay. A nerd and his two sisters are the U.S. Zombie Squad. Doesn't Sweden have like crazy low crime rates? He's gonna be like Sweden's most wanted of all time. He's like killed like 10 people, and they have probably like on capita less murders than anywheres. Zombie Squad seems kind of forced to me. Not huge fans of the character so far. He has a racist arm. This could play into some pretty serious hilarity. Worst mannequins of all time. Brad Pitt would be pretty proud. That is a fresh Nazi scalp right there.
Nice.
I love how the English subs don't line up with what they're actually saying. Did you guys notice that?
I did.
When the Americans are speaking and it's got subs and it doesn't correlate.
Oh, yes.
They say cheese for the camera and the subtitles is orange. Like, is that a European thing? Like in Sweden, instead of saying cheese, do they say orange? And that's just a cultural thing they put in there?
I think they just messed it up on purpose. See
You're
if
making
anybody's
fun of the
paying attention.
Americans.
Yeah.
Maybe. You fight Nazis with Russians, obviously. Comical.
Obviously.
This movie is taking on a serious Shaun of the Dead kind of vibe with the zombies. They rolled the tank right over a bunch of kids in the sandbox.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Squish.
hilarious.
My favorite zombie attack is Buddy rips the sink right off the fucking wall and bashes the guy's head in. If you look, it's like a whole big
Raleigh's
scene, and they're
on the
all swarmed
shitter.
in, and there's just one guy, he's like, and he grabs the sink off the wall and just starts using it as a weapon.
Was that when his wife was in the tub?
Yep.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That was great. Yeah, rips it in.
This lady just leaves her poor grandma in the wheelchair. She's like rushing off with the grandma, and
That's
she
one
just
of
looks
my
behind her, and
favorite
they're like,
parts.
"Oh, they're getting too close," and she just leaves poor grandma there.
Remember, don't have to be faster. Don't have to be fast.
Right?
Faster than you.
You don't have to be
Right.
faster than the bear, just faster than Adam.
Yeah.
The one Star Wars reference I really did like was the Hoth binoculars. I think that was really good. I would have liked it even more if they didn't draw attention to the fact that they were Hoth binoculars, and they just kind of left it as she had them and she was using them.
Agreed.
Massive zombie battle, pretty cool. Why is Herzog so flesh-colored? I don't like it. The Nazi triage tent was probably my favorite background zombie character, where he's like ratchet strapping up the zombies and filling them up with hay.
And the
Puts a plunger on the one leg.
Sure, yeah.
Did you hear it as he walked away? It was like,
Yeah. But he just straight up bull rushes Herzog through a wall. That was pretty cool. The face on the stove scene is straight out of Army of Darkness. And then after that is, oh man, he's really going to dig up and resurrect Hannah. And then my last note was, not since Brain Dead have we seen zombie sex on the big screen. And
I think they made fun of Titanic on that one.
Yeah, true.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
The best part of that ending scene was when the sidekick zombie appears,
guy
and he just goes,
Oh.
it's like, oh, that's a happy ending. Like, shit, man. Those are Josh's notes. Okay. The notes are positive so far. I like this. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Aaron, please talk to us about what you for effects work in this movie.
Okay, well, I got to take in contrast Dead Snow 1 and Dead Snow 2 here. I didn't want to write down all their names for the people involved in the effects in this, but as you guys already know, you're very smart. This would have taken a huge makeup crew to do what they did and what they pulled off here. And I want to give you guys just like a little bit of insight on that.
Or a very small overworked crew.
Well, yeah, it could have been, but they did a wonderful job. Like I said, I didn't write down all their names because if you do watch the credits at the end, the makeup section in the credits was absolutely phenomenal. It was huge. So just to put it in context, the first movie's budget was $800,000. It grossed worldwide about $2.2 million when it came out. Okay. The second film had a budget of $35 million.
Damn.
And worldwide grossed about $1.2 million. Let that sink in for just a second.
So better budget,
but worse
fucking box office.
Yeah.
Okay, that sucks.
Yeah.
That pretty much seals the deal for another sequel of that film.
Right,
That's
but
a
I
lot of
think
money they sunk in there.
I think the investors saw how the first one did on 800,000, and it made,
of course,
and then they were like, "Oh man, we're gonna get on top with this, on this one," and it really didn't do it. Now, I think it's going to be a cult classic here. I really do, and I really think people are going to watch it and buy the Blu-rays or whatever format comes out later on, and they'll probably start to make a few bucks back here and there over the years. But good grief, $35 million as opposed to 800,000, right?
That's just the problem. Lightning can't strike twice a lot of the times with these grindhouse, like gritty backyard movies, right? Then they try to capture that a second time, and then it's not how she works, bud.
Well, you can definitely tell that they invested a lot into the makeup on this, a lot. And I'm going to repeat what you said a couple times there, Josh, throughout my notes, because I mean, I'm shadowing exactly what you said. My first note was I love the recap on this film. It's probably one of my most favorite recaps, and how they blended it together. I loved it. I thought that was fantastic. It was a good start for me. I perked up over that. The opening car scene was epic. The Herzog hanging off there, the radio, you got all that. The mouth-to-mouth detonguing, I called it. It's pretty intense.
Vile.
Superb arm effects. They did a couple really good close-ups of the arm that was reattached. When he looked at it, you could see the bulge, like they pretty much put it back on, and it had like his arm was bigger than the actual Herzog's arm, so it had that differentiation between the two, which was really cool. It looked like it was silicone or gelatin. It could have been hot foam, but I thought that was actually done quite well. They lit it properly, and you couldn't see any edges. Just beautiful. Outstanding makeup on Herzog. No seams visible. But the makeup could have been a little darker instead of what the flesh tone was. I agree with you on that too, Josh. He was a little too flesh tone for the rest of the zombies and things. And maybe that has
know why. Why? He had a fucking human arm on him. He was turning human.
Yeah.
Think about it. Think about it.
You can see when they actually put it on him, his palette starts to change color.
Yeah, but why didn't it happen for Martin the other way?
It did kinda.
The rest of his arm started to change darker.
Because I thought that, but I didn't see Martin changing, So I thought, okay, well maybe that wasn't.
Didn't like it.
Yeah, it was a weird kind of thing.
That was that's how I always took it.
Right. Okay.
Why Herzog was more flesh, because he's got an arm that still has blood in it. You know what I mean?
Like, it was obviously an artistic choice. Like, I'm not denying that. Like, it was an intention in the movie. I just didn't like it.
Yeah. I thought there was beautiful makeup on Herzog's doctor. I thought that character was phenomenal. I wish they spent a little more time and stuff on him. But what they did spend on him was fantastic. I really enjoyed that makeup. Again, flawless, right? Production value was way higher, I thought. Obviously, you look at the two budgets. It's going to be if you're investing that much money. I thought the conversation between Martin and the kid in the hospital was actually pretty natural. As far as the conversation goes, it was one of the more natural things I think I've ever. It was almost too natural. I don't know what you guys thought about that, but I was like, man, that's weird. That's almost like a normal conversation.
Like they're really talking to each other.
Yeah. The CPR didn't work on the kid. Man, did I ever lose it on that. That was
splat. That was great. Jacob was watching the movie with me, and he lost his shit when that happened. He friggin' roared.
Man. I thought there was really good continuity on the makeup and everything up to this point. And going through the film, there were only a couple things that I mentioned a little bit later that the continuity was a little off on. But I thought that the continuity with the bruising and all the other zombies that were obviously getting the camera time, it all looked great. It looked fantastic. Please don't hurt me. I have two kittens. That was a great line that stuck out. Using the intestines as a hose to siphon gas was awesome. And
especially because one goes one way, one goes the other way.
Oh, I thought that was fantastic. And they were all slimy and slippery. I'm pretty sure. Now, don't quote me on this. This is
you're being quoted.
Another technical issue. I believe that German tanks, and you should look this up, Tim, because I'm not sure, but I believe German tanks ran on normal gas, and the bus would have run on diesel. So they were putting diesel in a gas tank, in a normal petrol or normal gas.
I'm gonna pretty much. You're right.
Yeah. Okay.
So that I was like, okay, nobody else maybe would look at that. They would obviously think that it was a diesel engine in that, but I know for a fact, being a history guy, that those tanks ran on normal gas and they did not get good mileage at all. Head punch against the bus, I thought was absolutely killer with the VFX and the makeup effects both combined. When he punches that zombie's head against the bus and it explodes, I thought, man, that was flawless. And then he did it again, and I'm like, that's fantastic. So whatever VFX team they had and makeup team working together, they were like this, right? It looked great. I even backed it up to watch that a couple times because I love that effect so much, right? He didn't have any control of that arm, and that thing was just awesome. Wheelchair abandonment, I called it. Was hilarious, especially when she left her there and then she falls over backwards, and then was it Herzog or whatever zombie comes over and stomps her right in the head. I was in tears. I had to pause the thing. I thought it was hilarious. I can see my buddy running. I always told my buddies, if you're running, I'm faster than you, I'm tripping you, and I'm going to keep going. It reminded me of that, right? Tank runs over kids in the sandbox. Then fires around at two women pushing their kids and blows them up, and all you hear is this kid go, wah! Right?
And you see the kid come at the camera.
Oh man, wiping away two tears, and then I have more, right? I guess the sheriff or the police officer in the office there, he made me chuckle as well with his quote. Would you eat my little man pussy?
It's funny.
Tons of makeup, bearded Russian zombie. When he was revealed, I thought he was super cool as well. They really integrated the makeup around the hair or placed the hair on top of the makeup and everything. That looked awesome. The medical on the battlefield, stuffing the zombie with hay and replacing the severed leg with a plunger, and then hearing the effects as the zombie, he gets the thumbs up and runs back into action. I thought that was just awesome. The intestine electrocution scene, where he pulls the intestine out of the guy and wraps it around the electrical wire and zaps 2 zombies, I thought was absolutely amazing for thinking about killing a zombie that way. I don't know what you guys think, but it was very inventive. I thought it was a lot different than what you normally see. I didn't even know what he was doing until it happened. The shotgun shell inserted in the nose, and then he hits the shotgun shell with the hammer. That was another cool, innovative thing in the tank, right? Yeah. I thought that was super cool. And the back of the head blows open. Let's see here. Martin's arm near the end was covered in blood and gore, and then in another take or another scene, it seems like it's like clean, and then it goes back to really messy again. So that was one of the things that I saw, and I didn't see much in this for continuity purposes. I thought that was one of the only things that really kind of stuck out to me. I've got to get my hands on a Seagull translation machine. I thought that made me chuckle.
Then he brings it back at the end. Yeah.
Hannah's makeup looked great. I believe that makeup surrounded her eyes. In that were whoever built those contact lenses. Her eyes on that makeup really made that makeup shine. That was super creepy. Doctor picks up Herzog's head after the credits. I thought that was a really cool addition at the very end. And then his eyes open up, right? There'd be nothing left of that head. He gets shot with a shell, within a foot of a tank cannon, a tank gun, and that head would be non-existent. So, yeah. So those are my notes. I absolutely enjoyed all the effects in this film. I never thought that anybody. I never got the feeling for 1 second that this was amateur in any way, shape, or form. All the edges and everything were blended out beautifully. The coloring was done beautifully. Everything was just fantastic throughout this whole film. I highly recommend it if you're a highly intuitive person when it comes to makeup effects and things like that. I highly recommend that you check this out just for the effects itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's this movie really upped the ante compared to the first one, and the first one was fun anyway, but this was just a gore fest, an all-out effects fest. So when you say that there was like a list this long of people involved with the actual effects work, I have no doubts. And even with a crew that big, they were going non-stop, guaranteed, the way that they did this movie. It was great. So
Robert England here, a.k.a. Freddy Krueger. I'm watching and listening. They cast from the coast. You better or else.
Tim?
Yes?
I think we all know what time it is. Does anybody want to take a guess?
Me.
Lunchtime?
Go, Aaron, go!
Trivia time with Tim.
He did it. It's good.
He did
Yeah.
great.
All right. He even did
He's
the little
formal
air
answer
guitar.
in
It's
the
good.
form of a question.
Okay, we have trivia time with Tim. Go ahead, Tim.
Okay, so there's not a lot of trivia, but I will pad my time with goofs and other bits. This was both shot in Norwegian and English, obviously, because they were talking in English in parts of it. What?
goes a step further than that. They actually filmed every single scene in English.
Yeah, but it says it was shot in Norwegian too. Don't argue with the notes, man.
They did this just on a quick note. They did this very similar to a show that's on Netflix called Norseman, where they actually filmed every scene twice. They filmed it in Norwegian and they filmed it in English, and they made 2 cuts of the movie. There's one that's entirely Norwegian, and then there's the mixed version that we got too.
And then there's one entirely in English.
I think so, yeah.
I like the English one personally.
Continue, Tim.
Oh, thank you. The Tiger tank used in the film is actually a replica and not a genuine Tiger. It is actually a modified T-55. But obviously. No, that's a T-800 Model 101. The one-legged zombie in the medics scene is an actual amputee and provided the effects team with one of his own prosthetic legs to be torn apart and used as a base for the shredded stump, since creating a prosthetic that allowed for the insertion of a plunger, and it could support the actor's weight from scrap proved difficult. It was worded weird, but yeah, he was an actual amputee.
Well, you know what? Tons of films use actual amputees and things. I mean, look at The Walking Dead and things. When they need somebody that's got no legs whatsoever, and they need a zombie to be, dragging itself across the ground, they green screen things, and then they get them to drag across the ground. There's just as much work for people that have an amputation as everyone else.
Yeah, no, there's a memorable zombie in Zack Snyder's remake of Dawn of the Dead, where they first get into the mall, and I believe the guy was missing his arm, and he runs up and looks, and great effects. No, the dude's actually missing his arm, and they just put the little flappy bits, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I absolutely. Yeah, people that lose limbs need work too.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is a continuity error. During the big fight near the end, when the police are hiding inside a home and spot Martin, the shot we see of Martin has his right arm completely covered in blood.
Mm-hmm.
No skin color visible. But the next shot, the same arm is practically clean, with only a few smears of blood. See, Aaron?
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
Factual errors. Tiger Tank's 4 petrol tanks are located at the back, 2 on each side of the engine compartment, not under the radio operator's escape hatch like shown in the movie. The Nazi zombies are taking diesel from a touring car and putting it in the Tiger Tank. Tiger Tanks ran on petrol, not diesel. It would nearly be impossible to start an engine if that somehow would succeed and would not run smoothly.
Are we sure that bus was running on diesel, though, and not gas? Regular gas?
But
you're pretty much going to guarantee it was diesel. A lot of those.
I'm pretty sure just the engine alone, anything that big is usually diesel.
And that's why I thought it didn't make sense.
This is a revealing mistake, fellas. Revealing. Hannah's age is stated in the newspaper, which Martin reads. She was 30. But on her gravestone, it's marked 06/12/87 to 13/04/2013, which would make her 25 years old at the time of her death.
Oh.
Not true.
That's it. The movie's ruined.
That's revealing.
And these are some plot holes, and I think that's it. The Soviet zombies lose all their power when their Soviet commander is killed. But the Soviet zombies are resurrected by Martin. So they should be tied to Martin.
True.
The Soviet zombies don't lose their power when their leader is killed. They were already outnumbered and losing the fight before he died. Whoever wrote that was weird. But anyways, that's my Make you think time with Tim.
Trivia time, make it think time with Tim.
Make you think.
Make it think time with Tim. Excellent. All right, gentlemen. It's time to wrap up our final thoughts on this movie and give it our ratings.
Ooh.
I'm going to start tonight with Josh.
So, if Dead Snow is Sweden's answer to the Evil Dead, this is their Army of Darkness. It's still fun to watch, and it's a great continuation of the story, but it falls short of the masterpiece that is the original. I mean, it's cheesy, it has its moments, but most of the references and jokes feel pretty forced to me. There's lots of great gore, and it was a cheese fest, which I do enjoy quite a bit, but it's a clear deviation from the original. Puts this considerably less favorable than the original, in my opinion. I don't know that I would rewatch this one. I really like the first one a lot more. I don't think I'd... Maybe once in a while, maybe, I guess. I don't know. It's like Army of Darkness. You'll watch it if you watch the first two. You gotta follow it up. But it's not as good. Everyone knows it's not as good. It's still fun. I'm right on the corner of PG to R. I am.
Okay.
Well, you can't double rate it. You got to give it.
No,
one rate.
I'm thinking.
You got to rate it good
so
because
go
you had a
down
fun
the
time
list.
watching it.
Yeah, that's at the very least pretty good. I'm not saying it's not pretty good.
So use
enjoyed watching
your
it.
rules.
Yeah.
Use your big boy voice.
Okay.
Use your rules.
When in doubt, use your rules.
Yeah, the old
Cover the
rules. I gotta look up the rules.
Ah!
Well, I know. I mean, jeez.
Rules.
You don't have to use. This isn't like your creed. You don't.
Like the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Come on, Josh.
This is the way.
Keep it simple. No more than 6 named characters.
Yeah.
They deviated a bit
There
from
was-
that. There's a lot of characters.
Yeah, but named? No.
No, maybe
No.
not. I guess
There was a lot of fodder.
You got
too.
the three. You got the 3 ghost. There's zombie squatters. You got Herzog.
Martin and the other guy from the
I
thing.
guess.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Keep locations minimal. So this wasn't like an isolated in a cabin situation. This was all over town. It reminded me of kind of like Jurassic Park. So the original Jurassic Park, you're just on the island, and that's what it is. And then Jurassic Park 2, they released the fucker right in the city. So you're everywhere. Tell us the rules, and more importantly, follow them. So I guess they do a pretty good job at kind of keeping the zombies following their rules.
Yep.
Kind of.
Okay.
If you're going to have a twist, foreshadow it. I don't think this movie really had a twist.
No.
Use practical effects whenever possible. They definitely did that.
Damn. Man.
Yeah. Cheese. Got to have some good cheese and silly one-liners. They definitely had some good cheese. Humor in general. Yep. Got to have some sex appeal. Give us some hotties. Wasn't really any of that going on. Pay homage to the greats.
They did.
Yeah, I mean, not as much as the first one, but yeah, I guess. And never give a happy ending. People should die, and they should leave the room with a cliffhanger. And that one, they definitely did not follow. The zombies were defeated. He resurrected his girlfriend and banged her in zombie
And he got
form.
a happy ending.
They got a happy ending.
Right. But did you watch past the credits?
Yeah, there's an extra scene.
Right.
I heard about that, but I didn't watch it. What was
Right.
that?
So it does end with a possible sequel happening again.
Herzog's head being found in like a field or something.
Right. By the doctor, man.
That
Of
his
all
eyes
people.
open back up or something?
Yeah, the doctor. They zoomed in on the doctor and then
The
and
zombie
then,
doctor?
Yeah, it was wicked.
The
You know, that
zombie doctor?
breaks more rules. 'Cause the zombie doctor's supposed to go away when Herzog dies.
But he's not dead because his eyes opened.
Right.
That's just confusing. How do you kill Herzog then? He blew him away with a fucking tank. He blew his head right off.
Still
He's a
alive.
difficult one to
Big
kill.
enough
Okay, we got to wrap this one
Yeah.
up. Josh's eyes are squinting even harder.
I don't-
They are,
I'm
man.
gonna rate it a PG. I can't in good justice.
PG.
All right. He's using
Okay.
it.
Yeah, PG.
All right.
It is what it is.
Tim.
Oh, Tim, pressure's on.
No pressure at all. Because though I don't think that this is as good as the first one. I loved the first one. I loved that it was made because these guys loved Evil Dead. I love that. And I love that they spun it their own way. They made it culturally significant to where they're from. Like, it was great. It wasn't let's make Evil Dead, but in the mountains in, Norway or whatever, right? The second one, Josh is absolutely correct. This is their version of Army of Darkness, and Josh is right. Army of Darkness, it's okay. It's fun. Is it as good as Evil Dead 2? No. Is it as good as Evil Dead? No. But you need it because it's part of the story. And what I have to say is I like that they didn't follow an easy route. They really opened the story up. They kind of went different ways, introduced new rules, and more to the lore of this kind of universe, this story. I liked it. I thought the special effects, like the gore and the zombies, top notch. Like, they did an amazing job with no fucking budget, and they did not drop the ball with a budget. The only thing that I wish was, I really felt that them doing a lot more English stuff kind of ruined it for me. It didn't feel like a foreign film. And I feel that that's what made me really like the first one, was that it had this foreign sensibility, even though it was influenced by an American movie. And I feel that this one was just an American movie set in the Dead Snow universe. But with that being said, it was funny in parts. It was very Shaun of the Dead, but without being Shaun of the Dead. I'm going to rate it an R because I rated the last one an R, and I have to watch both back to back. To me, they're just one big long movie. It's just the first part is better than the second part, but I like both parts.
Nice. I'll agree. You got to watch them together, in my opinion. Aaron.
Yeah, they're both.
Yeah, Aaron.
I mean, being third and fourth, sorry, Adam, is kind of rough because all the points have kind of been hit. But I'm taking a different perspective on this whole thing because the story's got to be there, and it's got to be something that keeps my attention. But when I watch a film, the things that keep my attention are it's the makeup, it's the effects. I'm paying a lot of attention to that, the continuity throughout the film, how inventive they are when it comes to reconditioning, like how some of the zombies are dying, or anybody dies in a horror film. I love how they become inventive when it comes to things like that, and this film is full of it. I like the introduction of the museum character. You think that he's just going to die right away, but he doesn't. He manages to hang around for quite a while before he meets his demise. Compared to the first film, the way that I look at that right now is that my head goes to the first film, which to me, just sitting here, is kind of gray. It's kind of gray for me. I loved it. I loved the fact that it was kind of it was like a fan film to Evil Dead 2, and this one I do agree with Josh and Tim that this would have been kind of like the Army of Darkness kind of deal when it comes to this. But in saying that, this film to me stood out compared to the first one. I really liked everything that they did. I love the really crazy humor that they had in this. I even had my wife yelling down at me going, "What are you laughing at?" Because this thing had me in tears at some points. So, based on the makeup, the acting, the way that this film came across to me, I'm giving this an X.
Woo!
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa! Look how wide Josh's eyes are right now. I've never seen them. Josh, you have beautiful eyes.
Oh wow. Okay.
That surprised me. Right
Yeah.
there.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed every single moment of this, and I didn't want it to end. And that
There
to
was
me,
a ton of effects, and I
Right.
definitely understand as an effects guy that you want to see
Yeah.
all that.
I do, and I live for all that stuff. So
Yep.
it just kept going and going and going. I wanted it to go more. I was like, yeah, I want to see more effects. I want to see more. And when I end a movie like that, and I go upstairs, and I'm like, yeah, you know what, that was wicked. Then that tells me that I can't give it anything else but that, because I had a good time watching it. I had a great time, and I didn't want it to end. So to me, that's an X.
Nice.
All right.
That was very honest, Aaron.
It was. It was. You had some good points.
He was wrong.
Ah.
It was right from the heart.
Listen here.
So
No, but you want to know? Okay, before Adam says his point and his rating, what I have to say about all three of our reviews so far, and I'm sure Adam is going to follow as well.
Share many of the same sentiments.
No, not even that. Not even making a joke. But I feel tonight, out of all the reviews that we've done, we've all been really honest. Like, we're not like, fuck this movie because it's dumb or whatever. Like, I believe that Josh's rating was a PG. That was very sincere, right?
Mhm.
Mine was an R. I believe Aaron's was very sincere. I'm sure Adam's is going to be sincere. But I just wanted to say that, like,
It's
you know,
because
normally
we all have different qualifiers of what equates to what rating. What do we care most about in a horror movie?
It's true.
That's why I
That's
like
true.
this group.
absolutely.
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 Oh.
Absolutely.
That's exactly.
That's exactly. Thank you, Tim. Bringing it back.
Adam
Bringing
hasn't
it
said that
back.
in a long time. The best.
Don't
Just to go on a
screw it
side
back.
note, when we used to have Dave, Adam's brother, one of the original casters,
The OG.
one of the OGs. There was one point, and I hope I can find the video where they kept going back and forth without doing it intentionally. That's exactly. Yep. That's exactly. Exactly. That's exactly. It went on for like, felt like forever, but it was probably like, maybe 15 seconds, but it was hilarious. It was hilarious. I was pissing myself laughing. And they're like, what are you laughing at?
It's like nothing.
Oh, you know. Anyways, I'm sorry, Adam. I
That's
digress.
okay.
What's your rating, buddy?
So this movie does not get worse with viewings. This movie doesn't fail to entertain no matter how many times I've seen it. I've only seen this movie a handful of times. I really only have. And every time I watch it, I'm still loving the humor, the effects, the visuals, the action, the whole idea and premise behind it. When you guys say it's very much so like the Army of Darkness, I disagree. I think it's more the Evil Dead 2 to the Evil Dead 1. It's got the recap. It ups the ante with a bigger budget, more characters. It takes it in a different direction, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, and it really kind of plays to its strengths. I find the director found his footing. He did well with this.
Josh.
Josh is ready to kill me. He's like, you dare compare this to the Great Evil Dead 2.
No, but it just one point. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Mhm.
That but I mean, Evil Dead.
Josh awake?
If they were gonna, if this was truly more like Evil Dead 2, it would have still been in the cabinet.
Not necessarily, because when I mean Evil Dead 2, I don't mean same place settings. It was a continuation of the story. It picked up right where it was supposed to. It continued a story that was meant to be told in a particular way. It really felt like when the director made the first one, he had plans for the second one and where it was going to go. It really didn't skip a beat. And that's kind of kind of how I feel about Raimi and the Evil Dead universe. I feel that he always knew where he wanted things to go to a certain extent, and he was successful at that. So I think with this movie upping the ante, it's wonderful. But I feel that this is a complete story. Forget about the after credits scene, because I got to admit that's the one thing that really kind of falters to me, because as we said earlier, Herzog's head would have been disintegrated, like red mist gone. Like, that's my opinion. I think that it completes the story, this movie. And when you watch it, very much like what Tim said, you watch one, you watch the second one. This is one complete movie to me. And with that, I admit that I have to give it, at the very least, the same rating that I did the first one. Because it's just a continual fun fest. The first one paid homage in a lower budget manner. The second one ups the ante and gives us more of what the director is capable of doing. And it creates a very, very wonderful story all over. Gentlemen, I give this an R. I recommend this movie. I can't go too long without getting into a discussion with people on the internet where they're like, I need a good zombie movie. And I'm like, have you ever seen Dead Snow 1 and 2? Because the vast majority of horror movie fans out there still actually haven't seen these movies. And that's a shame.
You can tell by the you look at IMDb and how many people have actually viewed things like this, and you can tell that not many people have opened up to whether the first one tainted them a bit. Who knows?
There wasn't very much trivia, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Right.
Yeah.
So definitely,
I don't understand.
definitely.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Josh looked pissed the whole time you were talking.
I know. I was looking at him on the camera going, He's got that smug-ass look on his face. He's like, I'm going to fucking smack you, Adam. You comparing this shit to what I love the most in life. Okay.
There's like a single tear coming down.
Yeah.
There is, actually.
Tear of boredom from listening to Adam.
He's so angry. He's crying.
Shaking. That's not camera blur. He's shaking.
So mad.
No, not mad.
I don't get mad. I get even.
Get mad.
I get even.
It's just some people have opinions and they're wrong, but they're welcome to have them. Because it was just like Evil Dead 2, where it picked up and continued the story, except for Evil Dead 2 built a completely different story with less characters and changed everything, and the recap wasn't the recap because it's the same. But anyways,
less characters.
That's all. Oh yeah, you're right. Scotty and Cheryl was totally in Evil Dead 2. You're right.
Oh my God.
Missed that part.
All right, whatever, jerk.
Wow. Passive aggressive.
You fucked with my Evil Dead. You fucked with the wrong guy, Adam.
Adam,
I'm done. I'll leave it alone.
Just wrap it up.
I'm glad that Josh at least enjoyed the movie, so, whatever. Fuck it.
It was good.
It was good. It was pretty good, apparently.
It was pretty good. It's pretty good, actually. Pretty good.
Great conversation tonight, gentlemen. I think that we covered quite a bit on this, and I really enjoyed going back and actually revisiting this movie. I'm glad that we had the opportunity now that we have, Josh and Aaron with us here, so we've kind of enlightened others about this wonderful movie set. So, excellent. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us and listening to this episode and watching this episode. Well, thank you too, Tim. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you,
no
Tim.
Welcome. No, don't even acknowledge me, Tim. Just fucking whatever you're doing.
I did.
You're welcome.
I said it.
And you're needy. You even said you're
Maybe
welcome
it's because
twice.
Josh is getting under my skin. His fucking death stare.
What
His
lie did
death
you?
stare.
You squinted at me.
All right, wrapping it up, gentlemen, wrapping it up. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us on this wonderful episode. We had a great conversation tonight. So check us out on Facebook, Misunderstood Art Company. Check us out on YouTube, Misunderstood Art Company. We produce episodes every week, so keep paying attention, please. Like, share, and subscribe to all of that. We also produce audio copies of all of these episodes on all the major podcasting platforms, including but not limited to Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, etc. We're also on Patreon. Open up your hearts and your wallets. Buy Tim a coffee because he likes coffee. And until next time, Josh.
Anyone else notice that Glenn's clearly a closet homosexual? Just saying.
Well, he didn't even really get a chance to say it himself, but thank you.
Almost.
I gotta say something. Aaron.
Well, I'm definitely taking something away from this film, and that is I've got to get my hands on a seagull translation machine.
Seagull translation machine. It would help, apparently.
That would help.
Tim.
Stay safe. Stay spooky.
Till next time. See you later, folks.
Good night.